9 months, 950 hours. That's how much time I spent painting my entry for this year's Golden Demon in Essen. But what I learned this time was 10 times more useful than my last entry. And it wasn't about how much time I actually spent painting. What was it about? So in this video, I'm gonna share with you 2 big lessons I learned from this year's competition, how and why this entry was very different from my last one, and how this can help you without spending 900 hours painting, I swear. From the first time I entered Golden Demon versus now, a lot has changed. I was kind of stuck at an intermediate level and I couldn't move away from it. And you might find yourself in the same position now, trying to bridge the gap between intermediate and advanced painter. Well, that's all part of the 2 very big lessons I learned from this competition. And it's not about technical skills, it's about something else entirely. But before I tell you that, let me share with you how and why my experience was so different, and also share a bit of practical knowledge I picked up along the way, which might be useful for your own journey. Well, first, and arguably the most important one, I was less focused on the competition itself, less focused on trying to find the right way to please the judges, which led to a better experience in painting my entry. Because if you have to paint 900 hours in a style that you don't enjoy, it's gonna be sucky. Sucky. Instead, I focused on improving my skills, learn new things, push my boundaries. Painting-wise, I worked a lot on trying to create harmonies and chromatic connection between the models of my unit. So every subject was connected by the magenta, the green, and the off-white colors. I certainly could have connected Asmodai better here. You live and learn. I also focused a lot on textures. I dotted, I crisscross, hatched head. I tried my best to give something interesting to look at to the viewer, that it wouldn't be copy and paste. Master Albert Moreto taught me that a good unit or squad gives the viewer and the judges a lot of things to look at. Different materials, different texture, different characters. From Master Borja, I learned to be less fearful handling my entries. When I interviewed him for my newsletter, he talked about how paint is just paint, so you don't have to be so afraid of touching your own models. But I have to admit, I am so damn clumsy. I dropped the model with the banner 3 times and it broke in multiple places. Yeah, maybe I should be more careful. I also got organized and spread it out the work throughout many months, so not to be pressured to finish near the date. I also studied a lot composition, which is kind of ironic because the composition and the base is the thing that I'm less proud of. But yeah, I studied a lot of composition. I took feedback from my friend Marco. I tried to build a base that would tell a story. I clearly didn't make it, but I will try again. I learned to sculpt rocks and I learned to paint every single detail and the terrain just like it was a model. But yeah, definitely my bases are very problematic, both for my orcs and for my dark angels. And I'm not telling you that, people are telling me that. And I agree. Models are too far apart. I just don't like the rocks. The scene itself, it looks a bit sloppy, to be honest. And I think it was a disservice to the models, which were beautifully painted. But I let you be the judge of that. You see, if you add elements to your entry, you have to be spot on because you're gonna be judged on that. Okay, but was it worth it? The 900 plus hours? Yes, absolutely. I don't regret not a single minute of the time I spent on my entry, even if it placed really badly in the competition. Yeah, of course, I was disappointed that I didn't even make commented or finalist like I did last time. But after a little 1 hour meltdown above the bar of the venue, I was good to go. Bitch, I was done. Cried a bit, got it off my chest. Now it's like, I'm ready to slay again. The experience itself was really amazing for me because I had the right mindset that enabled me to move on really quickly from the disappointment, focusing on the amazing people that I met, the interesting conversation I had, meeting some of you guys, subscribers and students, and most importantly, the amazing food I ate. I digress. This year the level was mind-blowing, and talking to people like Mark Masklins, it seems like painting an awesome model is not enough anymore because a lot of people can do that very well. Base, scenery and story building seem to be the most rewarded, with very few exceptions. It's something I absolutely lack in and need to work on. Mark was the only one who really got to see the models in hand up close, not in the poorly lit cabinets. He complimented the rendering of the anatomy of my orcs, but he wasn't so taken with my new Dark Angel entry. Why? He said so. He doesn't like Space Marine. Again, subjectivity. The base really sucked though, don't forget. You cannot take these things personally. You cannot let it define you as a painter or as an artist. What you need to do is just do your best, get feedback, figure out what the mistakes were and fix it. Keep learning, keep improving. And you try again and again and again and again, as many times as you wish for, if that's something that you want. I personally want to win a Golden Demon. I have been wanting this for a long time. Probably more than 10 years, since I was 18. A pretty fucking long time. Is it gonna happen? Maybe yes, maybe not. I'm not gonna bitch about it. I'm just gonna try to do better because the level was insane. Really insane. I saw some cool shit you have no idea. Also, you gotta be aware that this shit is subjective as well. And when it's subjective, luck becomes a real factor because even personal preferences in a certain faction, it's gonna be a factor into their decision. You need a little bit of luck. You have to be an exceptional painter, but also pretty lucky. Just take my good friend Zumiketo, for example. Last year, we all know he was kind of pissed off that he got notable for his Norgo entry. This year, he managed to get a fucking silver. That's really crazy, right? So that's why I'm probably gonna re-enter my entries, maybe changing the bases because I really don't like them, and try my luck again. At this point, I'm also really tempted to go to Adepticon, but I don't know. Getting overseas is just pretty expensive and tiring, so I don't know. But if you want to help make that possible for the future, support the channel in any way you can, from a small donation with Patreon to checking out my painting course, which is pretty cool. And you can support the channel and improve. Okay. But what's the real big lesson you need to take away from all this? If you're trying to bridge the gap and move from intermediate to advanced painter, you need to learn this. At some point, when you know how to use a brush, managing consistency and blending two layers together, what really makes a difference between you and an advanced painter is just these two things. Lesson the first is patience. I spent a long time on this entry and most of it was all about patience and not rushing through the steps. Painting every single part of the model, never being sloppy, which if you know me, if you watch my channel, I know it can be sloppy a lot. So for me it was really hard to not be that way. But does this mean you need to paint 900 hours to get a very good looking model? No. Of course not. Don't need to have the perfect blends. You just need to paint everything at the same standard with your own style, at your own pace. Lesson the second, knowledge and thought. You absolutely need to study how light and color work. Learning this is not just about watching masters paint, but it's about understanding and learning what's going on in their brain and why they make the decision that they make. So learning where to place the highlights and shadows is pivotal. And if you need some help with that, there's a free cheat sheet in the link down below. You really need to start thinking about every decision you make and if they make sense artistically. Thinking about composition, color choices, value, contrast, that's what's gonna turn you into a real artist. Whether you win trophies or not, plenty of stunning, amazing artists didn't get anything to this Golden Demon. But the important thing is that you do it step by step at your own pace. And a good way to start small is to try this very simple painting approach I was taught by a Golden Demon winner, Luciano Rossetto, that's gonna help you get started painting highlights and shadows in a very accessible and easy way. So click here and I'll see you there. It was like, it's all long ago, so it's